fans, it's Lisa, and welcome to my first vlog for the Magical Readathon Autumn Equinox. Yes, the readathon has officially arrived. It's finally here. I'm so excited. I know I say this every time I talk about this readathon and vlog, participating in everything, but I genuinely love this readathon so much. It's so fun, it's so creative, and I just love participating in it. It's really the only readathon that I still participate in. I occasionally do other ones, but this is the one that I feel like consistently I want to participate in like every time it happens. So I'm really excited to do some vlogs, document what I read and what I get up to throughout the month and for this readathon. And today is actually the 31st of July. So the readathon, I think it technically starts in August. So August 1st, tomorrow. But because of the fact that we broke some records, I think back in the spring equinox, we, I think, read more pages and more books than we did in the last spring equinox. The kind of reward was to be able to start a few days earlier for the autumn equinox this year. So I didn't really partake in that. I mean, at this point, I think I'm just going to start tomorrow on my TBR, but it was still cool to be able to start a little bit early for anyone. I probably should have because I have 8 books on my TBR and I really haven't been reading a whole lot lately. I've been very busy. I think August is still going to be a bit busier for me, so I probably should have started earlier, but it's fine. We're gonna be fine. I'm going to read everything I need to read. It's gonna be great. But like I said, today is the last day of July. So I think before the readathon like officially starts tomorrow, I am gonna do a bit of reading of some other things. If you have watched really any of my vlogs from the month, you would know that I have been reading Nine of Swords by Brooklyn Quintana. This is a high fantasy. You're following Finn, who is a part of the royal family. There is some unrest within the kingdom, and outside of it, there's kind of this impending war that may or may not be happening that Finn, as a 12-year-old boy, doesn't really know a whole lot about, but he knows enough to know that it's probably going to happen. And so he gets sent to this military academy to train to become a soldier, but he gets into a lot of mischief because he's a 12-year-old boy and that's just what they do. So yeah, this book is 760 pages long, and I'm on page 250, I think. Yes, 250. So I have like 510 pages to read, and that's a lot. This has been going very slowly for me. I'm enjoying it. It's just a lot more dense than what I'm used to. So I'm going to, I think, try and read some of this today, probably try and get a good amount of progress in so that I can get this done like earlier on in the month on top of my Magical Readathon reads. And I also think today I'm going to reread the first volume of Heartstopper. I want to do a vlog rereading all of the graphic novels before season 2 comes out, because season 2 comes out this week and I'm so excited. I thought it would be fun to do a vlog rereading them and then like reacting and just like talking about season 2 of the show. Just like a place for me to talk about all things Heartstopper for people who do care. I'm sure I will talk about it a little bit in this vlog when I watch season 2, but that can be the vlog where I talk about everything, all of my thoughts and feelings. So yeah, I definitely need to read a volume today. I would like to have all of those done before season 2 comes out. So yeah, I'm reading many things that are not for the Magical Readathon yet, but we will be starting, I think, something from my TBR tomorrow. I don't know what yet. I mean, I have something from the library that came in that was potentially on my TBR because my TBR is kind of a mess. If you watched my TBR video, I was like, basically for every single prompt had like 3 or 4 options, and so I don't really know exactly what I'm going to be reading this month, but it'll be fun, and that's why I wanted to vlog, so I could document what I actually end up reading for each prompt. I'm not quite sure what I will end up reading for my first book. I think I know, just because something did come through my library, so we might be starting with that, but I'm not sure. We'll see tomorrow when the Magical Readathon officially starts for me, but like I said, I have a few other things I'm going to be reading first. And yeah, also tonight, I think, I'm going to see the Barbie movie, which I'm very excited about. I did text my sister to clarify because I want to make sure that that's still happening, but if it does happen, very excited. Very excited to wear pink. I mean, I wear pink literally almost every day of my life, so nothing's really different, but I have an excuse to wear even more pink than I normally do, and to be surrounded by people wearing pink. It's just going to be so much fun, and I've heard such good things about the movie so far, so I'm really excited to watch it. But I think we're doing that later tonight, so we will definitely discuss my thoughts on the movie. I probably won't say anything too spoilery, even though like the day it came out, I feel like Twitter was just like filled with people saying everything that happened in the movie, so I feel like I know some things. I've been trying to avoid stuff, but it's just kind of inevitable. Like, I've been seeing some things, but it's made me more excited to see it. So yeah, I think that that's happening tonight. Very excited. So some reading of some things not for the Magical Readathon and seeing Barbie. But tomorrow, August 1st, Salt Air on the Rest on Your Door month, If you know, you know. But we will definitely be starting my Magical Readathon TBR tomorrow, August 1st. And also I will just be blasting August by Taylor Swift all month. I mean, that's literally no different from every other month of the year for me, but I feel like it will be accepted by the masses listening to it every single day. Anyway, okay, I'm babbling, so I'm gonna go. But welcome to the first vlog for the Magical Readathon, and I will check in hopefully once I start reading some things, especially some things for the Magical Readathon. Hello everyone, it is officially August 1st, which means the Magical Readathon has officially started, and it's time to listen to August by Taylor Swift on repeat every day for the next month. I mean, that's just me every single month, but like, now everyone's on board with me, so we have to talk about it. We have to talk about August by Taylor Swift. If there is a moment I can talk about that song, I will. But yes, it is August. It is Salt, Air, and Rust on Your Door month, and it's also the start of the Magical Readathon, officially. So I wanted to chat about what I think I'm going to start reading for the Magical Readathon, my first read for the readathon. But first, before we do that, I want to quickly chat about Barbie, because we did go and see that last night, and I have to talk about it. I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody, because I think the best way to go into that movie is knowing as little as possible, so I won't say anything too specific, but it's incredible. The hype is real. It was so emotional, but also so funny. I cried from laughter multiple times. It was just so good, and I have to tell this story because it is so funny to me, and if you've seen the movie, you'll understand, and if you haven't seen it yet, you will eventually. But when we were on our way to see the Barbie movie, we were in the car driving there. Me and my sister were talking about how we don't really go to the movies that often. We were talking about like the last time we had been, and that we don't really watch new movies. We both just like rewatching things. And I was saying, yeah, I pretty much just rewatch The Parent Trap and Pride and Prejudice over and over and over again. Now, if you've seen the movie, you would know that that is a very timely thing for me to mention Pride and Prejudice on the way to the Barbie movie. I was feeling a little called out, and that was one of the moments where I cried from laughing so hard, so it was a little too real. I'm like, what are the chances that I mentioned that on my way to the Barbie movie? But also I was feeling so called out. It was so funny, and every time I think about it I start laughing. But anyway, Barbie movie, incredible. The I think, is it Billie Eilish? Yeah, it is a Billie Eilish song. So that one in the movie, when it plays, that scene, rude and offensive. That was one of the many times that I cried. And I really want to listen to the song again, but I am scared to listen to it because I feel like it's just gonna make me cry. So we're gonna build up to that. But yeah, Barbie, incredible. If you haven't seen it, please go and see it. And if I just start every vlog clip by saying hi Barbies, I think you're just gonna have to accept that. But yeah, anyway, let's chat about the readathon, what I'm planning on reading. So just like bare bones of the readathon, if you've never like heard of this readathon before or seen any other videos explaining it, but basically you pick a calling, so a certain career path, and I am doing the Star Whisperer career, and you take certain classes to be successful in completing that calling, and each class has certain prompts for it, and within those classes there's 3 different prompts, and depending on what career you choose, you don't have to do all 3 of those prompts per class. Sometimes you only have to do 1, sometimes you have to do 2, sometimes you have to do 3. And so I have to take the astronomy class for the Star Whisperer career, and I have to do the O, Q, and D level classes and get those grades. I have to do all 3 prompts for astronomy, but G said that you can kind of do them out of order. You just have to be like, it's just a risk, I guess, because if you do like the D grade, but you haven't done the O and the Q ones by the end of the month, then the thing that you read for the D grade doesn't count for anything. So you just have to be smart about it, but you can read them in any order that you want. So I am going to take a bit of a risk by starting with the D grade that I have to get for the astronomy class, which is to read a book with a red cover. I don't think I'll have a problem completing the other two prompts. I think it'll be fine, but that's what I'm going to start with because I had a couple of holds come in through Libby, and actually in my TBR for this one, I had two options, and both of them I was waiting to come through on Libby, and they both came in at the same time. So I was like, okay, I just need to decide which one I want to read for this prompt. So to conclude this very rambly explanation that probably no one cares about, I'm going to be starting with Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is a book with a red cover, so it fills the prompt, and I also thought this would be something to kind of ease me into doing some more reading. I haven't really been reading a whole lot recently, and because it's a romance, I think I'll be able to read it pretty quickly. So I'm going to be reading that on my Kindle. Very excited about it. It is the kind of sequel companion to A Part of Your World, which I read a couple months ago and really enjoyed. You're following like the best friend of the main character from Part of Your World. I just feel like it's going to be really good, probably emotional. I've heard really good things about it, and I did, like I said, love Part of Your World, so I feel like I'm going to really enjoy this. So yeah, Yours Truly is going to be what I start the readathon with, and I'm very excited about it. Like I said, I think it'll be something easy to kind of ease me into reading a lot this month, because I have to complete 8 things for this magical readathon, on top of I'm rereading all of Heartstopper right now, and I'm also reading Nine of Swords still, and I want to get that done by the end of the month. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how this month goes out, but goes out? That doesn't make sense. We'll see how it goes from here on out. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but basically I'm starting Yours Truly, very excited about it, and that will be the first prompt for the readathon. I think that that's everything. I will check back in once I finally start reading something for the magical readathon, what this vlog is for. Hello. Happy Thursday? I should know, it's Heartstopper Season 2 day. It is Thursday. But I wanted to come on, update you all on what I've been reading for the magical readathon, because to be honest, past few days, the reason I haven't really been updating, I feel like this vlog also has not been a whole lot of updates about books for the magical readathon, because I really haven't been reading for the readathon. I've been doing rereads of all of the volumes of Heartstopper, and then I've also been making some progress in Nine of Swords. I've been trying to read like 50 pages a day of this. I've been sticking to it the past 2 days because I've read like 100 pages since Monday when I started this vlog, so at least there's that. But trying to make progress in this. I've also been listening to my audiobook, which I don't think I've talked about at all. I'm listening to These Violent Delights, but not the Chloe Gong one, the one by, let me check the name, Mika Nemerever? Is that how you pronounce the name? I would think so. But I'm currently listening to that as well. So I've basically just been doing anything but reading for the readathon. But now I do have some reading updates for the readathon. So let's discuss. I did start Yours Truly, which I'm counting for the prompt. Is it for astronomy to read a book with red on the cover? I think that's what it is. I'm up to chapter 5, which is 11% of the way through. So I'm not super far, but I have at least started it. And now that I'm done with like my Heartstopper rereads, I think I'll be able to actually read this and focus on this more. So I don't know if I give a description about this book at the beginning of the vlog. If I did, we'll just fast forward through this bit, but if not, you're following Brianna and Jacob, and they are both doctors. Jacob has just recently transferred to the hospital that Brianna works at, and Brianna has been trying to get this certain promotion. Now that Jacob has transferred here, he is now someone that is kind of up against her for this promotion. So just based off of that and the fact that like their first interaction, they didn't get off on the right foot. They kind of had like not the best first impressions of each other. She kind of just automatically doesn't like him immediately. And I'm looking at the description because I'm kind of not far enough into it to really know like what the main plot of this book is going to be, but I do know that Jacob ends up sending Brianna a letter, and I think they start like communicating through these letters and getting to know one another. And what I've just read too, Jacob is like getting tested to see if he could be a kidney donor for Brianna's brother. I just feel like with that whole thing, it's going to be a very emotional read. Like what I just read, he like agreed to take like the test to see if he could be a match for her brother, and just reading that like made me emotional. I already love him so much. I feel like he's already shown that he's gonna be a very like sweet and precious little bean, but he's also very anxious, and I feel like the way he describes the situations that make him anxious, how he kind of copes with that, things that like trigger him, and just like, I don't know, just like him describing his anxiety in general, I feel like it kind of is hitting a little close to home. I feel like I kind of relate to a lot of the different aspects and things that he's described. So I feel like for that reason, this book might end up meaning a lot to me. I'm literally like I said, I'm 11% of the way through, but I feel like I could potentially be reading a new favorite book. I know that's a bold statement, but I already know I love Abby Jimenez's, I don't know why that was so hard for me to say, Abby Jimenez's. I love her writing. That's what I'm trying to say. And I love her characters. I love her banter. I really enjoyed Part of Your World. And I feel like most people like Part of Your World more than this one, but like people still really enjoyed this one. But I feel like there's potential for me to feel the opposite. I don't know. I'm having such a good time already. Like I said, I've already cried. I've already laughed. I love the characters already, because Brianna we did see in Part of Your World. So I knew I already loved her. I already loved Jacob within the first like couple of chapters that I've read. So I don't know. This is just setting up to be very successful for me, which would be very exciting. So yeah, that's what I've started. First, for the Magical Readathon, I feel like because it's a romance, it will go quickly. Plus, I know I've said this so many times, but I think reading on my Kindle, I read faster than I do physically, so I feel like I'll just be able to speed on through. Plus, like, being able to read this in bed with the lights off, like, kind of a game changer. Also, this is kind of sad, but I think the reason I'm able to read faster on my Kindle is because it is a screen, and it's tricking my brain into thinking I'm looking at my phone, but I'm not. I'm looking at my Kindle and I'm reading. It's kind of sad that that's where we're at, but you know what? Whatever works. So yeah, started yours truly, started the first book for the Magical Readathon. I hope I can finish it by the end of this vlog. I'd like to, like, whatever books I start for the readathon in a vlog, I'd like to have them all done by the end of that certain vlog, because I'm going to be doing 4 or 5 vlogs for the readathon. Let me confirm with Notion. I simply would be lost without my Notion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm doing 5. So I'm hoping with the 5 vlogs I can just keep each book kind of contained to each vlog, but we'll see obviously what ends up happening. But yeah, I would love to finish yours truly by the end of this vlog. Maybe start something else. We will see. Like I said, I'm kind of reading a bunch of things right now, which is not normally. I really try to stick to like 2 things at once, and it's normally like different formats. It's normally like an audiobook and an ebook, or an audiobook and a physical book, but I'm kind of just doing all of the things right now, and I don't necessarily love that because it's too many options and I get overwhelmed, but I'm hoping to be able to focus on what I need to be focusing on and reading for the readathon. But yeah, yours truly, it's going great so far. Not very far, but it's going well. Now I'm going to update my Heartstopper vlog and maybe start watching, I don't know, watch like an episode or 2 of season 2, because I need to watch it. There's already people, I woke up this morning and people had already finished it, which I don't even know how that's possible, but people have done it. So I need to watch it before I start getting spoiled on Twitter. Not that I don't know what happens, but I don't want to know anything about like songs or certain scenes. I just want to go in and see what happens. So I need to watch it before I can get spoiled. Right, hello. I wanted to do a very quick update because, to be honest, I don't have a lot to update on. But it is now Friday and I have read a little bit more of yours truly. I'm now like, I think I'm like maybe 20% of the way through, if that. I don't know if I'm quite 20% of the way through. Basically, I've made a little bit of progress, still loving it. We've gotten to the point where Jacob has written Brianna the first letter, and I think she's writing one back to him, and I'm really excited to see how that continues. So yeah, I'm still really enjoying it. I'm having a great time. But the good news is that I don't think I have any plans this weekend, which has not been the case for quite a lot of the summer so far. I feel like I've had a pretty busy-ish summer, so I'm excited to do nothing this weekend. We may have a pool day at one point, but that's fine. That's still a place where I can do some reading. So I'm hoping this weekend I could do a lot of reading. Heartstopper things are done. I've watched season 2. I really do want to do a rewatch of season 2, but I'm not going to because I'm going to read. So yeah, there will be a little bit more substance to this vlog, hopefully, as I continue to make more progress in what I'm reading. And I also need to set up my reading journal for August, which means I need to do a spread for the Magic Readathon. So if I do that this weekend, which I'm planning on, I will also show what that ends up looking like. But yeah, reading is the plan for this weekend. A lot of it. So hopefully by the next time I update you, we'll have a little bit more to say. Well, hello. It is now Saturday evening, and please, first and foremost, ignore my appearance. Thanks so much. We had a pool day today, and I think we're going back tomorrow, so I wasn't like concerned about washing my hair, but that means that it looks a bit crazy, so please ignore. But I just wanted to quickly update because I am now 34% of the way through Yours Truly. So I'm a third of the way through, and I've been trying to read like 50 pages a day of Nine of Swords, and I don't know if that's going to happen today because I'm just loving Yours Truly so much, and I don't want to put it down. I feel like this is just checking a lot of boxes of things that I enjoy in romance. I not only like the characters individually, both Brianna and Jacob I think are relatable in their own ways and very funny and very lovable, and I think I kind of talked about this before, like Jacob's anxiety and the way that that like manifests and how it's triggered and just like the way he reacts to certain things, it is very relatable to me, so I love that. And I just also like him as a character besides that, and I really love Brianna and I love them together. I think they have really great chemistry, so both of them like individually and together I'm absolutely loving. And this book has also made me laugh, it has made me cry, it's basically just doing everything that I want a romance book to do. And I think it's setting up the potential for like a fake dating sort of situation, which is one of my favorite tropes. So it's just really doing everything I could ever want in a romance book. So I'm absolutely loving it. I'm so excited to keep going. So even with like the pool day today and tomorrow, I still think I'll be able to make a good amount of progress in it. I would love to finish it by the end of this vlog, like I said. And honestly, I may put Nine of Swords to the side for a little bit just to finish Yours Truly because I'm loving it so much, but I may try and read a little bit of Nine of Swords still. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I'm going to be able to convince myself to put Yours Truly down because I'm just loving it so much. Again, I feel like I said this already, but I feel like most people like Part of Your World more than Yours Truly, but I'm gonna be interested to see if I feel the opposite. It wouldn't be the first time that I have felt that way about certain series or like companion books, so I wouldn't be surprised if I feel that way. But so far, this is setting up to be like a 5-star read for me, and I'm just loving it so much. So I'm going to, I think, take my contacts out because with the chlorine and the pool and just being tired, I need to take them out of my eyes. I need to put my glasses on. We also got ice cream. We stopped and got a flight of ice cream, which is 4 different ice cream flavors. I am not going to be able to eat that much ice cream, but I am going to have some. So I'm gonna have some ice cream, get comfy, and hopefully do a lot of reading tonight, and then maybe some more reading at the pool tomorrow. We'll see. I never do a lot of reading at the pool. I always bring my Kindle or my books, and then I just don't even look at them, but it's the thought that counts. Well, we've reached the point of the vlog where I need to end this one so I can start the next week, so I'm gonna give some final reading updates now. I did manage to do a good amount of reading this weekend considering I was doing summery things, so I was kind of busy, but it was all very relaxing things. Like we went to the pool both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday we went out to get ice cream. Last night we went up to dinner and we sat outside, and it was just really nice. I feel like the past like couple of weeks have actually been summery. I feel like this summer so far has just not been great. It's been a lot of rainy days, and I am not into that. I love a good occasional rainy summer day. I like rain sometimes in the fall, but I don't want it to be raining all the time, especially during the summer. I want to be outside. I want to be at the beach. I want to be at the, well, not really the beach. I'm not a big beach person, but I like the pool, I like the lake, I like eating outside, I like getting ice cream. I want to do all the summer activities, but we haven't really been able to do that. But this weekend we got in a lot of things, and that is why I didn't end up setting up my reading journal for August yet and like the magical readathon spread and everything, because if I was outside or could be outside, I wanted to be. So I will probably do that in next week's vlog, because it's actually like a rainy day today. We're back with the rain, so I will probably do that in my week 2 vlog. But when we weren't at the pool or doing various summer activities, I did do a good amount of reading. I did actually finish the first book for the magical readathon, which was yours truly, and I'm very excited to report that I loved this. I give this 5 stars. This is definitely one of my favorite books I've read this year. It's definitely one of my favorite romance books just in general. I loved it so much, and I know like it's had a lot of 5-star ratings, but I do feel like a lot of people like Part of Your World more than this one. But I think this one just did a lot of things I really love in romance books and just books in general. Like I've talked about, I feel like every time I've talked about this book in this vlog, I really loved the mental health representation. Not only did I think it was really well written and well done, but I also just really felt seen by it. I feel like the way Jacob's anxiety worked was very similar to like how my brain works, and certain things that he does to help himself or like prevent feeling anxious is things that I do. And there were just a lot of moments where he would talk about it, or he would have like an inner monologue like thinking about it, and I'm like, wow, I have thought or done these exact same things. So it was just really cool to see that. And I also really loved seeing the way that Brianna would kind of help him through those anxious moments as well. And also Brianna had her own, you know, mental health struggles that she had and she was facing in this book, and I don't know, I thought that they really balanced each other well. They helped each other, and I just really appreciated that aspect. And also just like outside of it, I really loved Jacob and Brianna individually and their characters, and I also loved them together. I loved their banter. This book, like I said, it made me laugh, it made me cry, it made me feel all of the emotions, which is what I want to feel when reading a romance. And it had fake dating, which was just such an added bonus for me, because I did not know going into this book that it had fake dating. So I'm really happy that that was an aspect of this book. I will say I definitely could understand why maybe this wouldn't work for everybody, because I do feel like there's a good amount of miscommunication. I do feel like though with the fake dating trope, there is always a bit of miscommunication when people are faking their feelings for each other, but then real feelings kind of come in. A lot of times the characters are not being honest with how they're actually starting to feel. They're just continuing to fake their feelings. So I think with that trope, there is a lot of times miscommunication, but there was even more so with these characters on top of it. Like, I don't know, somehow they were so good at communicating with certain things, which is why it was like easy to root for them when they weren't communicating or when things were going wrong, because I knew they could communicate. I could see them working things out. It was just, there were a lot of things that they weren't sure of with each other, the fake feelings, and they, you know, would get certain snippets of things out of context, or they would make assumptions about each other. And when you have a character who's also like dealing with anxiety, he's gonna overthink everything and make things up. And I think it made a lot of sense that there was some miscommunication, and to be honest, it really didn't bother me. I feel like for some people, I know miscommunication is kind of like a deal breaker no matter what. I used to be that way, but now I really don't think so. I think it completely depends on the characters and the context and how it's done, and I thought this was done well. We got to a point where I was just starting to lose patience with the miscommunication, but at that point in the book they started communicating. I was like, wow, everything that I could ever want is happening when I want it to. So it was just, I don't know, everything about this book to me was perfect, and I love it so much. Yeah, 5 stars. I definitely think it's one of my favorite books of the year. I loved it so much, and I knew I was loving it when I basically could not put my Kindle down, and I didn't want to put my Kindle down to read it. Like, even on the car ride to dinner last night, I was like, do I bring my Kindle and read in the car even though I will get car sick? I was considering it because I just could not put this book down. I just loved it so much. So I'm really happy that I loved it. The magical readathon is starting off really strong. So yes, yours truly finished, and that is the first thing done for the magical readathon, which is very exciting. I have 4 classes that I have to do, but 8 prompts in total, so that is 1 of 8, and I'm hoping that I can kind of pick up the pace in the next couple of weeks. I will say though, like, I did do a lot of reading this week. It just wasn't for the magical readathon. I read the 4 volumes of Heartstopper earlier on in the week, and then I also read a good amount of 9 of Swords. I think I read like 200 pages because I'm now on 438. I think I started at like 250, so almost 200 pages of this, which again, this is still like, it's dense. It's taking me a little while to get through it, but I am like, the more I get into it, the more I'm enjoying it. So I feel like right now things are starting to kind of be pieced together. We've been getting a lot of information throughout the book, but nothing's really been connecting. And now things are starting to connect. I feel like the more I read, the more I connect with the characters and everything. So I am hoping that maybe I can finish this next week, but I'm gonna make no promises. I just need to finish it by the end of August. That's all I want. And I feel like I'm not gonna update too much on this going forward in these vlogs until I finish, because I've been talking about this in every single vlog for the past like month, and I just feel like I'm sick of seeing me hold this book up. I'm very excited to talk about it, and I want people to know about it because I'm enjoying it, and this is like a self-published author, so I'm happy to talk about it a lot. I also just scratched my face, but also like there's only so many times I can say I'm still reading this, you know? So we're gonna continue to make some progress here, but I read like 200 pages of this, and then I've also been listening to These Violent Delights by, oh, I keep forgetting the author's name, Mika Nemerever, yes, and I'm like 50 something percent of the way through that book. Yeah, I'm 58% of the way through. I think I have like 6 hours left to listen to, and I'm definitely gonna get this done early on in week 2 because I've also been listening to this audiobook forever, and I want it to be done. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not loving this book. I think I had very different expectations going into it on what it was going to be. I knew we were following these two boys who like had this like growing obsession with one another, and throughout the book we see that obsession grow, and we see how dark and twisted they are and how dark and twisted their obsession continues to be. But I thought it was going to be more of like a thriller than it's not really, I don't know what it is. It's not a thriller. It's more just like, I feel like there's just a sense of unease. It may get more thrillery towards the end, but I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting going into this, and I feel bad because I picked this as a book that me and my sister and a friend are reading together. We like started a low-key book club, and this was the first thing we decided to read. And I don't know why what I suggested got picked, and this is what I suggested, thinking that it was more of a thriller. It's not, but I think it could be. I don't know. I'm just not really loving it. It's not, I mean, it's interesting, and I'm interested to see how this obsession that these two boys have with one another like continues to grow, because as we continue to read, like I said, there is a sense of unease, and I feel like it's getting darker and darker in the things that they're doing and the things that they're saying. It's just very weird, and I'm interested to see how far they will go and how dark and twisted this book will get. But honestly, most of this I've been kind of bored, so I'm like, do I DNF? Do I continue on? I don't know. I'm over halfway through. Like I said, I'm reading it with a few people, so I'm like, maybe I should just keep going. So beginning of next week, hopefully I can get that done, and then I can also start reading some audiobooks for the Magical Readathon. I basically just need to get all of the books I started in July done so that I can focus on the Magical Readathon TBR. The reading slump that I got into in July really just threw me for a loop, and I was not prepared for that, and it was really not good to go into the Magical Readathon with multiple things that I'm currently reading, but we're gonna work on it. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna get all these things done. We're gonna get the Magical Readathon TBR done. It's all gonna work out. And we did finish one thing for the Magical Readathon this week, so at least there's that. We have plenty of time to continue on reading and get the 7 other prompts done. And if you're reading anything for the Magical Readathon, if you're participating, I'd love to know how it's going for you, how the first week went, anything that you've read that you've loved, anything you've hated. Let me know everything down below. Or if you're not participating in the Magical Readathon, you can just let me know anything that you've read so far this month, what you're currently reading. I just want to know what y'all are up to and what you're reading. But I think that is going to be it for week 1 of the Magical Readathon Autumn Equinox. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.